he knew that my income alone would not get me a way into an apartment. It's very expensive. This is inflation. I have no vehicle.
That document is false that she's presenting to you guys right there. I've never met Miss Muhammad to sign a piece of paper.
State calls Mr. Muhammad.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Muhammad, are you currently employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
I work for Galveston County Parks.
Okay. How much do you earn there?
I make $340 something every paycheck. So I have 2 paychecks a month. So it's like roughly like 6 something.
Are you paid hourly?
No, yes, ma'am. We're paid hourly.
Okay. How much do you make per hour?
I make 13 and some change.
How many hours a week do you work?
20 hours. It's on the weekends.
Okay. Is that your only source of income?
No, ma'am. I also work part-time at the barbershop where I sometimes go when, in between to go cut hair as well.
Okay. What do you do at the barbershop?
I cut hair.
Okay. How much do you earn there?
It's up and down, like roughly I might make like maybe $200 to $300 a week from the barbershop.
So the barbershop, your job at the Parks Department?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any other sources of income?
No, ma'am.
Do you work construction?
Part-time, but it's not like a source of income that I could depend on. It's like some days I get called, some days I don't. Some days it might just be like an extra hand. So it'll be like one day a week, maybe.
Do you get paid for it?
Yes, ma'am. Like about $60 a day if he gives you calls.
About how many days a week do you go do construction work for $60 a day?
Maybe 2 days. Maybe 2 days out the week. I don't usually go. It's not my full-time or part-time for me. It's just really something that could supplement more income coming in for me.
Do you have any let's call it passive income, like vending machines, booth rent at the salon or the barber or anything like that?
I'm the only barber that's there, and I did have a vending machine, but it's broke now. It's broken, so it needs to be fixed, so no.
Do you own any real property like land or homes?
I do own a home, but that home was gifted to me. And I do own a piece of land that I bought with my sister.
Do you live in that home that was gifted to you?
No, ma'am. It's currently under construction. I live at my mother's house at the 2515 Ivory Court.
Is anybody, I'm guessing if it's under construction, is nobody living in it?
No, not currently. No, ma'am.
The land that you own with your sister, are there any structures on that land?
No, ma'am.
Does that land generate any income for you?
No income. No, ma'am.
Is the parks job all year round?
Yes, ma'am.
Ask the witness, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have any other witnesses?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Mohammed, I just want to make sure, I see you're agreeing to a non-disclosure finding with regard to your address and phone number. Are you and Mr. Muhammad able to communicate about the children?
Yes, we communicate by phone, but we do have mediators, which is mothers, sisters, and we exchange children that way, which has worked out fine.
Okay. And there's no family violence?
There was one occasion which caused me to leave the residence that we shared with his mother. I had nowhere to go after losing the home, and his mother opened the doors to me, where I paid her $200 a month or any extra income that I had. I worked 2 jobs while there.
Okay. Did you ever have a protective order?
I didn't get a protective order until I filed the child support, and then I did the family protection.
Through the AG's office?
Right.
But you never worked with the DA or a private lawyer to get an actual protective order?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
At the time, I just felt as long as we were separated, there's no need to go further. And again, our arrangement has worked out.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. I just want to be sure. Do you have anything further, Ms. Laskowski?
Your Honor, the state's going to share my screen with what's marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 1. That's the child support calculation sheet. It's based on minimum wage.
Okay. What are you asking me to do?
To set current child support and medical support based on minimum wage, $12.56.67 per month. with a medical support reimbursement of $75 per month beginning June 1st, 2023, with Ms. Mohammed being ordered to apply for a government health plan for the children, and current child support of $269 per month beginning June 1st, 2023.
Ms. Mohammed, the state doesn't represent you or Mr. Mohammed. Is there anything else you'd like to say? One second, Ms. Mohammed, and then I'm going to have you go, sir.
Okay.
Since you went first.
So I'm not in agreement with that amount, and I'm being as fair as possible. I'm not asking for anything outrageous. I'm just asking for what he promised me. There was a handwritten letter between he and I and his mother. I don't know what happened to that letter. But there was an agreement for him to give me $400. Nothing had been done during the separation. No income was given to me during the separation until he received the child support notice. Then he sprung into action to say, go down there and cancel it, and I'll give you the $400 a month. And again, that has not happened. He has bought groceries maybe 3 times, and as well as given me maybe about $150 total in cash. Now, in order for me to get an apartment when I left his mother's house after the attack, he knew that my income alone would not get me a way into an apartment. It's very expensive. This is inflation. And so he and I spoke about a promissory note, being that we didn't have the one that was written in hand. He approved it via text. And even though it states $500, that was for me to be able to get into the apartment. But his verbal promise was $400 a month. And him reporting that he's only a barber is not true. He owns it. He rents that place from someone that actually works at the sheriff's department that owns that plaza. So he's the owner. He has 3 other barbers there that I know, that I've last known, that gives him cash boot rent. So, and from my last understanding, the vending machines were still working. That property is in his name solely. It's not owned with his sister. There's a lot of things that was miscommunicated during his response. So I just want to clarify that. But again, I'm not asking for anything outrageous. I'm asking for what he promised. It is very hard for me to maintain these children now having a rent. I have no vehicle. He's driving a vehicle, fairly new BMW that's in my name. There was a lot that was given and helped out throughout that marriage. And I just want him to be fair. I just want him to be fair. I'm not out to get him at all. I just want what he promised verbally, which was the $400 a month.
Something is being shared on the screen right now. Don't know.
Your Honor, this is what was provided by Ms. Mohammed in reference to the letter that she's talking about.
The letter.
And he stated, yes, he stated that he wasn't aware. He was very aware. We've had conversations. It was via text. And at the time, it was whatever we need to do to get you into your own place. So he's very aware of that promissory note.
And sir, do you recognize that note?
No, I do not, ma'am. That note, I've never signed that note. She, if you ask her, she will let you know that I was never met to sign a piece of paper that's saying anything about it.
Okay, guys, no back and forth. Ma'am, don't interrupt.
That note was never signed by me, ma'am. If you look, that note, it has a typed signature. I was never presented with a piece of paper that's saying that I will support the kids with any amount of money. She told me she was taking me to child support. The fact about the barbershop, I am the only barber there. I did have barbers there, but most of my barbers left. When COVID hit, my vending machine is broke. The land that she's saying has no income. And the car that I'm driving is the car that I've been having for the last 5 years, that I gave her a car recently that she crashed. I gave her a car recently that she crashed, ma'am.
And Ms. Laskowski, can you stop sharing the screen so I can see people? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That document is false that she's presenting to you guys right there. I've never met Miss Muhammad to sign a piece of paper, nor if you look at the signature on the paper, that is a typed signature. That big signature is not me, ma'am. And that is a false document that she's presenting to you guys.
Okay.
I have my taxes as well to prove what I'm saying for the last 3 years of my income of what I make. And it's verified. I have my paperwork to present. Yes, ma'am. I do have.
Are you ready to present it today? Because this is the hearing, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I have all my 3 years taxes that I can present. Yes, ma'am. To show exactly
Okay,
what
present
I
them.
make and my income. No, I didn't present it there. The guy asked me, do I have how much I make and all of that? And I said, yes, sir. My W-2s that I get from the actual county, as well as my income from my tax professional that I have 3 years of, my tax papers that shows my income, what I make. The property that she's mentioning has no income that I do own with my sister, but that is a false document that she's presenting to you guys. I've never signed a document like
Sir, I
that.
have not admitted it into evidence.
Okay,
I'm trying to base this on numbers that have been presented during this hearing.
yes, ma'am. And I have all my numbers right here.
They have not been presented to me. I cannot make a ruling based on things you're talking about, but not actually talking about. I've yet to hear, the only numbers I've heard from you, sir, are you make 13 and change, 20 hours a week.
Yes, ma'am. That's
I've
correct.
heard you work as a part-time barber earning $200 to $300 a week from the
Yes,
barbershop.
ma'am. That's
I've heard
correct.
you work construction $60 a day, maybe 2 days out of the week,
Yes, ma'am.
and
That's
you have no
correct.
vending machine. Okay,
The vending machine, no, ma'am.
yes, okay. Is there anything else you'd like to present? Because those are the only
And
numbers. you've been
I
presented.
also have one other child that I do support. I have a 2-year-old child. I didn't hear it mentioned when it was first
No,
said.
she actually said your agreement was that you have no other children.
No, ma'am. I have, she knows that I have a 2-year-old child that I do support. Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I believe I announced that they agreed that there was one other child. Wait, hang on. Let me
No,
see.
you said no other children
No
underage.
other children. Yes, ma'am. She said no other children. I do have
Okay,
one.
yes, I did. Yes, I did. Your Honor, or Mr. Mohammed, is that child in your home?
No, ma'am. He lives
have
with
a
his mother. Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
do you have a court order to pay his mother child support?
No, ma'am, I don't, but I do help out every month with
Okay.
that child as well.
That's why we announced that you had no other children, that you had a court ordered obligation to support. That's why that we made that announcement. And that's why that child was not factored in.
Okay.
Okay, does anyone else have anything else they want to say?
I'm so full, Judge, I'm sorry. The letter, if I could go in back and text, there's via text of that letter. Again, he's aware. He has multiple vending machines. I'm baffled that he's not being fair with the 2 children that we bear together. His promise was $400, and that's what I'm expecting him to give me. Again, that's a minimum to ask for with 2 children. So and the vehicle that he's discussing, it was a 2008 BMW, and that vehicle would stop on me mid-road. And again, I was grateful for having something to drive, but it stopped on me. Instead of him giving me the newer vehicle, he gave me the one that was broke down. And I was hit in that vehicle last month. And now I'm without a vehicle. I had to get someone to take my children to and from school. That was money that I've lost.
Based on the testimony presented, your salary from the park service or from the Galveston County Parks, estimating low on all of these, as well as your hair cutting money, the barber money, as well as the construction money. I'm going to find your gross resources are $2,167, and I'm going to order $75 cash medical with a government medical. For 2 children, that's $456 a month, and there'll be a step down to 1 child. I'm sorry?
456 or 466? No.
456.
With what was the medical reimbursement? 75?
And that'll begin June 1st.
If someone's on assistance, they go after the money? Or, because I mean, if the kids are here 50-50, you see, even if it was exactly 50-50, I'm paying for them here, they're paying from there. How does one person have to pay? Like, I wouldn't expect Candy to pay me child support if I had them 50% of the time.
If she made 80,000 a year and you were making $12 an hour, we'd be having the exact same conversation, except she'd be the one recommended to pay.